for all the support you've given me. All the vlogs you've posted, it's so good.
Thank you so much, and I'm so excited that we're here today because we're celebrating the brand new sophomore album, Siberia.
Yes, thank you, thank you. It's only been out a few weeks, it's crazy. The tour's been awesome, playing the new songs has been so fun.
Actually, on that note, what are your feelings so far on the response that you've been getting on the new album? Because it's only been a few weeks and the response is just overwhelming.
I was actually expecting a little adversity from the fans because it is a little different than listening, right? It's like heavier, a bit grittier. So I was kind of prepared going into it for some people not a bit freaked out about it. But I was shocked with the response. People seem totally on board with the evolution of me as an artist and the new sound and like into the new songs. It's been absolutely amazing. It's crazy.
I know with like the listening, the sound was very polished and sparkly and glistening, and Siberia is so gritty and grungy a little bit.
That's exactly it. Like the last record I made was essentially like perfect. It was all just right. And that's how a lot of the music is that I've been hearing, especially on the radio. Everything's just like a perfect song. And my ears, I feel, were ready for something a little less perfect, a little more imperfect. And same sort of thing happened like in the 90s when grunge came in, and everything was like sort of going through the same phase, and people were just ready for something a little less perfect, you know, a little bit more raw. So it was the natural next step for me, and I think that people are into that step because there's been a lot of
Yeah, I hear too that you were listening to some Crystal Castles and some dubstep when you were like gearing up to make this. Like, what other influences inspired the sound of Siberia?
It was a lot of these bands that I was listening to, like this darker electro vibe, and I was just really inspired and kind of turned on by like the heaviness, the grittiness, contrasted with the softness of music, you know. And I had to bring in people that would do something I couldn't do. Whether that's making a beat or making things pretty, because naturally I gravitate towards perfect sounding things. I think that's something I have to wean myself off of, and I did with this record, you know, Run Holy Fuck. And they gnarled it up,
yeah,
you know?
Sure did.
And they did what I couldn't do, and brought in Jason Parsons from USS to help us build some like gnarly beats, and it's been such a crazy adventure with collaborations and relationships in this record, really just allowing other talents into your craft to do what you can't do. And it expands the project and makes it that much better, which is something I didn't touch on with this record.
Like, was it, were you, I guess, tentative at first, bringing other people in, like Holy Fuck and Shad, you know, comes in for some rap interludes on some tracks, so, how did that feel for you? Because I know on listening, it was, for the most part, a one-woman show, so being able to hand over the reins a little bit and say, I'm going to let you into my world, that takes a lot of courage.
It not only takes courage, but it takes a lot of confidence in your own craft to know that you're not going to be washed over by whoever you bring in. And it also takes an open mind and preparedness to allow other talents in, you know. And I think a couple of years ago I wouldn't have been able to do that. But as the years passed, played the songs enough, got more confident in who I am in my music, I was at the point where I was ready to let other people in, so you can have that perfect marriage of two different talents instead of one person just washing over you or you trying to drown out everyone else. It's a muscle on its own, the collaboration.
Yeah, and I know too, like on this record, the sound is, you know, we use the word gritty a lot, and it's a little rougher. But the irony is, on the listening, it was more softer and polished, I guess, in a way. But it was also more sad, also, and a little more like introspective and soul-searching. Whereas you sound more, I guess, maybe even a little happier or settled on this record. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. It's exactly that. Like, I had moved out on my own, and I was figuring myself out when I was writing the song for the listening. So it was more like I have to say this. Like, I need to get this off my chest, kind of thing, with the content of those songs. But with the new record, I mean, a couple years in, more the woman that I'm meant to be, and I'm the musician and the performer that I'm meant to be, and there's less fear kind of about everything, and there's more awareness of where I want to go with it, so it brought the lyric writing to a different level. And I could write about, I could delve into like visuals and go to cool places when I was writing the lyrics, and a lot of them are a lot happier. You know, you experience love for the first time, you can actually write about it, whereas you couldn't before.
Yeah.
You know?
And it seems really honest too. Is that something that's really important to you?
Yeah, definitely. I think it would feel so weird to go up there and sing about something.
Yeah.
I feel very weird about that. I'd be like, I am lying to you right now, all of you.
As far as the tracks go on the album, is there a standout for you? Is there one that you're really like, this is really the pinnacle of the album for me, like this is my favorite or something?
Everything is really special in its own way. I mean, they made the record for a reason, you know, I love them all. But I do like a song called Flex and Flow, and it's fun to play live, and it's like screaming vocals and then soft vocals and screaming bass and soft bass and a heavy beat. It just kind of represents the record sonically, and even the process of making the record, which was very like on and off, and like we don't know what's happening, let's do it, let's go for it, like just very Flex and Flow.
And I think too, with that track, it's also kind of, like you said, it represents the album really well, because here you have like all the new elements. You brought in a little dubstep, a little bit of Shad's kind of on it, doing his thing. So I think it really, that song in particular, definitely represents as a core, like, this is what this album's about.
Yeah, I mean, it was the first song that I started to implement these like heavy dub basses, and when the bridge part came around, I didn't know necessarily what to do in it, and then it kind of dawned on me I wanted Shad, and it wasn't that I wanted a rapper, and I'm like, oh, well, Shad can do it. I was like, I want Shad, like, he's the only one that I'll get to this part. So, I hit him up, and that was the first time that he came into the picture. And later on, Holy Fuck ended up kind of taking those tracks and running them through their gear to narrow them up a little bit. But that was kind of the one for me that represented everything and helped me know what we were going.
Yeah, I can definitely hear that. And I guess overall, like, was this record really experimental for you, too?
I don't want to say experimental, because experimental alludes to, like, purposefully doing things that are different just for the sake of doing something different. But it wasn't like that. It was
a natural progression.
Yeah, I mean, you're in the studio just creating and coming up with sound and having a good time and exploring. That's kind of where Siberia came from. Like, it felt like unknown territory. You're searching. There were moments where we were all just kind of like, this is so new. I've never heard this combination of things, or I've never heard this sound before. Like, this is a really special moment. And in that case, we were experimenting. Like, we didn't have any grid for what we were doing, which is kind of special. And I think every record in that sense should be experimental, because if you know what you're doing and you're just going like, okay, well, this is what's happening and this is done now, let's move on to the next one. It's like, where's the artistry in that, you know? So, yeah, I would say so. Yeah,
that would be so mechanical.
Yeah.
You know, that's
really
not like
prescribed. Yeah, and I was really nervous when we were releasing stuff. Like, I put out Everybody Breaks a Glass first for the official single. And I remember I was, I had all my posts written up that I had sent to Jeremy the Bug, who is this like online person that helps me out with all my internet stuff. And I wrote up a post for Facebook, wrote up a post for Tumblr, wrote up a post for Twitter, whatever all the respective social media outlets are, ready to blast this out to everything. And no one had heard any of this music ever at that point, and I'd been holding it in for months after this, you know, crazy battle trying to get this record out. And I was going to church, so I sent all these posts to Jeremy the Bug, and it was literally halfway through church that it was posted, and I'm just sitting there, palms are sweaty. I just go to this little like hole in the wall church. It's awesome in like downtown Toronto, but I was nervous. My hands were so sweaty, and I was just thinking like, this song's coming out. I couldn't concentrate on anything else. And I think you should feel that every time you put something out. That I don't know what people are gonna say, but I'm excited because I'm so proud of this. And I know people are gonna not like it, but then there's gonna be new people that like it. Like, that's the way I want to feel every time I put out a new batch of material.
I think Joe's was kind of like that too, especially with the video. It was so different from what we are used to.
Yeah, it was so fun to just tap into this new era of this record, which is more raw, the underbelly of the whole.
And back on tour now.
Yes.
Hopefully for a long while.
Yeah, well, inevitably for a long while, rather.
So true. Well, I think that's about it. And thank you so much, and congrats again will be, and